Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. We are going to put a right rear shock on my Suburban. I do have one for the other side, but I'm not going to show you both sides because they're going to be almost identical. I'm jacking under the differential right near the differential, so that way if I jack under the frame I have to go a lot higher. If I jack under the differential I can get that wheel up and get it off. I do have the driver's side is down on the ground, parking brake is on. I've got a big block under the front there. So always make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Let's see if I can get this a little better. There, maybe. Let's see if this new Milwaukee stubby impact gun will get them off. Probably I have these torqued to 125. This is supposed to go to 250. I've got a small battery and a big battery. This one's been used. That one I think is on a full charge. So let's make sure it's on 3. Well, let's see. Let's see. Oh. Not so good. Wait a minute. I might have had that in the wrong direction. Well, that's definitely in the right direction. I don't think it's going to do it. There's one more setting on this. Oh, that's forward. No, I can't do that. All right, Ingersoll Rand air gun. This is Old Faithful. That goes up to 500. I had the compressor shut off, so. Pumped up all the way yet. So even not pumped up all the way, this is getting the job done. It's probably up to 80 or 90 PSI right now. We'll let it get up all the way. Try this on one more. Milwaukee gets the job done with a big battery. Yeah? Alrighty, alrighty. Now, I do not know if they specify that the bigger battery gives you more torque. Maybe they do in some detail somewhere. Now, let's see what Old Faithful will do with a full head of pressure. Unexpectedly, pretty easy. Yeah. So that's the difference between 250 on a battery and 500 with air. Just so you know. And I'm not bashing Milwaukee. This is the right tool for the job when I'm doing other jobs. But on an SUV busting off lug nuts, you need the big battery or your air gun. All right, let's get that off. I don't like to jack this up too much because the wheel is so heavy. All right, there's the shock we're going to replace. Let me see if you're still in frame. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit. Need a little bit more. All right. You want to take that little splash guard off. There's 3 very small screws. I think they're 7mm screws to come off. And just wiggle it around and get it out of your way for that top nut. Okay? So we got a nut on the top. I think that the bolt part is captured. I don't think I have to get a wrench behind there. We'll see. And then the bottom one is a nut and a bolt. I'll give you those sizes. So they're all going to be 21. On the bottom, I don't know if I can get an impact tool on either side because there's some obstructions, but we'll see. I'm going to get a box wrench. I'm just going to use the air tool because I've got it out, so may as well. The reason I got the battery Milwaukee, and the reason I got a smaller size, they make bigger ones, is just because it's small and easy and you can get in places, and I have this for big stuff anyway, you know? Let's see if this top comes off. I think it's turning. Son of a bee. Yep. So I'm gonna have to hold the other side somehow. Let me figure this out. Okay. I got the bottom off with a box wrench holding on the outside and a socket on the inside. It doesn't have to be a deep socket. That's just what I grabbed. And instead of using a breaker bar, I use my torque wrench because it's got a ratchet so I can get a little bit at a time. You know what I mean? Now I got to figure out how to hold the nut on that top one. If I can't figure it out, oh well, I will figure it out. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm on the camera right now. I'm gonna zoom a little bit here. So you see that box wrench right there? That's on the that's on the nut. On the inside, I've got an extension and I've got my socket. And I went underneath the gas lines. I was able to sneak underneath the gas lines with a 6-inch extension in the socket. So I'm gonna go underneath and use my air gun and gun it from there, and with one hand, and with the other hand I'm gonna hold the box wrench. Okay? Wish me luck. Oh, and I wish I'd put the jack somewhere else. Haha. Oh, well, I'm gonna speak up loud because I know my voice is away from the microphone. This part is no problem. I might end up having to drop the spare tire. I don't know. Let's see if I can get the air gun in there. Oh, baby. I don't know if I've got it in reverse. Well, let's try. Here we go. This is going to make a lot of dirt right in my face. Got it. I'm going to leave the gun on there. Well, actually, I'm going to have to knock this. Yeah, I can't do that very well because I'm going to have to knock this out to put the new shock in. Anyway, that's the hard part of this whole thing. Now I'll just shoot a little clip at a time. I'm going to knock this out, bottom out, put the new shock in, tighten them up. So I'll give you a few clips. So here's the first tip. Use a little pry bar under the bottom of the shock. This shock still had gas in it. Yeah. See that? Pretty good OEM shock. It's about 120,000 miles on it. But because it still has gas on it, it's pressing up and down, and it makes it hard for it to get the bolt out. But if you get under it with a lever and take the pressure off, compress the shock just a little bit, you can slide that bolt out. And the top one, I did have to take the gun off. I had to take the extension and the socket off so that that bolt would be loose enough to push it towards the middle of the truck, and then that one comes out. So just reverse everything. I'll give you little clips. Just reverse to put it back on. So for the top bolt and nut, what I did was I put the shock forward of the hole, and then I used a ball peen hammer to tap it backwards because it's a tight fit. So like this, put it forward, tap it backwards until the holes line up, and then slide your bolt in. Now for the bottom one, I'm going to have to push up on the gas charging and compress the shock. Now, some shocks come with a wrap on them so that they're already tied up and compressed, and then you can put them and hold them on one hand, cut the tie with the other hand, and as they expand you just line them up. But these didn't come that way, so I'm going to do that. I'll describe it after I'm done. So I just got under it with 2 hands, 2 arms, and compressed it. You got to put a lot of power behind it to do that. You might have another person help you if you need to. I don't know. If somebody else has got a good way to compress those, please put it down in the comments. The other thing I wanted to mention before I wrap up on this side is the other side will be a little bit different because you won't have those fuel lines running through there. So you might have an easier access on the top. You might. Now I'm just going to use my pry bar to do the final 1/4 inch alignment on that bottom one, and I'm going to thread the bolt through. So on the bottom, well, let me take the camera off and show you. On the bottom, I actually ended up using all 3 of my different sizes of pry bars there. And I pried up, once I muscled it up and it was sitting on this platform here where it attaches, it was in there. Then I pried here and I pried underneath here through this hole, and I'm pushing the bolt at the same time I'm prying, and I'm moving it up and down and up and down, and it tends to want to go that way, so I have to move it back this way. Anyway, long story short, you're going to have to jiggle around with this a bit. Geez, I hope that is not upside down. Let me shoot this again just in case. This is just in case that prior clip was upside down. Stick your pry bars in here, 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 anywhere you can, and you got to move this around because remember, it's pressing down all the time because of nitrogen pressure. And eventually you're pressing the bolt that way and moving it with the pry bar this way at the same time, and you'll get it to pop through all of a sudden. Now, just tighten them up. I might just try gunning the top one and see if it catches, and if I can get a torque spec of like 100 on it, I think I'm good. I'm not saying that is the exact torque spec. If anybody knows the exact torque spec for these shocks, please put it in the comments. Thanks. Froggy did find one place that said 85 pounds. So you should still check that on your own, but I used 85 pounds. I got the bottom. Now I'm going to try gunning the top, and then I'll check it with my wrench and see if I've got 85 on it. Otherwise, I'll have to somehow hold that nut on the back of it. We'll see. Okay, so the way I got the top was I laid down and put the extension and the socket and the torque wrench set to 85 on the inside. And then on the outside, I had my box wrench, and I had to do it that way. And what I wanted to add to this, the reason I hope you guys and gals think Froggy's videos help you out more is because I do stuff on jack stands and jacks, and I don't have a lift. So a lot of the things you'll see guys and gals do in a garage with a lift, you can't do them when you don't have a lift. So I'm giving you the poor man's way of doing it, I guess, without having a lift. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up. I got to just put back those little pieces. You all know how to do that. And give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notifications. Be safe. Have fun. Froggy out. Bye-bye.